Hi everyone, welcome to K-Club Week 6. We're almost halfway through. Today's topics, we're going to be talking about your co-mentors, your career development and training plan, giving you some positive affirmations, and homework. So we are still working on candidate information and goals for career development, and today we're focusing on the third part of that section. So let's get cracking. Co-mentors. So if you haven't already, now is a great time to finalize with your primary mentor's input who else you will ask to be on your K-mentorship team. Just a reminder that you want to find 2 to 3 co-mentors who have success in getting grants and/or in mentoring students, do research on a topic, or are using a method that will help you gain independence from your primary mentor's research that will also help you transition to be an independent investigator. You want to send these people your aims page and your bio sketch and ask them if they would be willing to serve as a K co-mentor. If they say yes, ask them for a copy of their current CV, which will help you write your career development and training plan section that we're discussing today. So we already covered candidate background and career goals and objectives from last week. And now we're going to tackle the career development and training plan. So here you're going to give details on what specific activities you will do and when you're going to achieve your goals. And you're going to present a timeline for goal completion. So for this section, you can think about the old wedding mantra, something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. So something old, what your past will contribute to the grant. Something new, what you will learn during this grant process. Something borrowed, what you will get from your mentor and co-mentors. And something blue, what creative or novel element will you add to the literature? So for this section, you're going to outline your 4 goals. So K99 research, K99 training, R00 research, R00 training, and how you plan to meet these goals through the following. Didactics and mentorship. So when I say didactics, I mean instruction. So this can be in individualized meetings with your mentor and co-mentors, or it can be coursework, actual classes. So you want to add your class names and numbers for this info. You want to present a detailed timeline of all the activities you will complete in your 5-year grant. And you can call that table 1. You want to have a section on your mentors. Who are they? What's their experience in mentoring and getting grant funding, and how will they help you? And you want to set up a section explaining evaluation of progress. So how will progress happen, and who will be in charge of evaluating your progress? First, we're going to cover the outlining your 4 goals and the ways you can meet these goals. So first, you're going to propose specific activities you will do in support of your short-term K99 R00 goals. How these activities will enhance the following. Make sure to cover these topics. So new research skills, your grant writing skills, your communication skills, your leadership skills, your lab management skills, your research productivity, and new knowledge and avenues of research investigation. So all of these are check boxes for the reviewers. So you want to make sure that you cover all of these. So think about the timing of these activities. When does it make sense to tackle each of these things during your grant period? It might be helpful to brainstorm ideas for each box on a piece of paper before you start writing. So let's go through an example. So in yellow, we have my goals 1 through 4. K99 research, develop new knowledge. K99 training, build communication and time management skills, get an assistant professor position. Goal 3, R00 research, develop new knowledge and research skills, get pilot data and submit an R1 application. And goal 4, R00 training, build lab management and leadership skills and enhance my grant writing skills. So all of these are based off the past 2 sections I've written, subsections in this overarching career section. Now let's go through specific details about how I can gain these skills. For new research skills, I can attend EEG advanced data analysis workshops. I can set up my own EEG lab. I will develop an IRB protocol for my EEG study. I will attend an EEG boot camp, analysis and data collection. I will do my own RStudio statistics tutorials. For my grant writing skills, I'm going to attend an NIH R01 grant writing workshop. To enhance my communication skills, and I'm going to write and submit an R01 application as well. For communication skills, I'm going to meet with library visiting scientists. We have at least one a month, if not two. I will meet with mentors regularly. I will engage in my library postdoc meetings, which happen once a month. I will do practice job talks for assistant professor positions. I will apply to the Society of Biological Psychiatry SOBP mentor program and give a conference talk on my research. And I will enroll in a teaching seminar. In terms of my research productivity, I will enroll in a time management workshop to be better effective balancing all of these goals. In terms of leadership skills and lab management skills, I'm going to enroll in a diversity seminar to be able to more effectively engage with students of all backgrounds. I'm also going to engage in cultural competence training to help lead my team and manage my team. I will be developing RA training protocols for data collection, processing, and analysis to help my team succeed. In terms of new knowledge and avenues of research investigation, I will read up on the literature on EEG fMRI cannabis use disorder across the lifespan. I'll take courses on developmental psychology, aging, ethics, and advanced statistics. I will enroll in an addiction seminar and attend Library Warren K. William, Tulsa 1000, and visiting scientist talks. We have a lot of talks at Library every month. I will also attend the Laureate Psychiatric Clinic grand rounds, where they talk about individual patient cases. Then I'm just going to reorganize all this info into paragraphs. So I brainstormed this on a piece of paper or wherever, and got feedback from my mentor, primary mentor, and peers to see if they had any other ideas of where I could take classes, etc. And then I'm just going to reorganize everything. So paragraph 1, start with K99 stuff. I'm going to start with K99 research, develop new knowledge. So here you're going to explain relevant activities to achieve the goal. So who, what, where, when. And I recommend 2 subheadings. So 1, didactics and mentorship, and 2, actual coursework where you're enrolling in a class or auditing a class. For paragraph 2, I'm going to focus on K99 training. So building communication and time management skills to obtain an assistant professor position. Again, you're going to explain the relevant activities to achieve the goal, who, what, where, and when. And then again, have 2 subheadings, didactics and mentorship and coursework. Paragraph 3, switch to R00 research goals, developing new knowledge and research skills, getting pilot data for R01 and submitting R01. Same deal, 2 subheadings. Finally, I'm going to hit up goal 4, R00 training, where I want to build lab management and leadership skills and enhance my grant writing skills. Again, same 2 subsections, explain relevant activities to achieve the goal and have 2 subheadings. In terms of activities that you're going to have to detail, think outside the box. So search online for conference and organization mentorship programs like SOBPs. Look for statistics, neuroscience, teaching, leadership, and time management workshops online. Look for potential classes you can audit from nearby universities and write down their course numbers. Look at potential online courses from other universities that may be helpful. Look at training boot camps you could attend. For example, the AFNI boot camp for fMRI research, or I'm sure there's an FSL class or an fMRI 2-week training class. I know University of Michigan and Harvard, I think, also has one. Ask other postdocs, colleagues, and your mentorship team for ideas after you've looked around. So at Library, we have a ton of training activities. So for postdocs writing Ks based at Library, you can talk about Tulsa 1000 talks based on our Tulsa 1000 data set. We have William K. Warren neuroscience lectures once a month. We have brown bag talks once a month, visiting science scientist talks, sometimes twice a month. We have our postdoc career development meetings once a month. We have meetings that you have with visiting scientists and WKW speakers as postdocs. I wrote those 18 RStudio statistics tutorials that you can use in your training. We have the psychiatric hospital grand rounds that you can attend, and we have virtual ABCD meetings with other study sites on a regular basis. So if you're interested in those, just let me know and you can attend those. And then finally, K-Club. So after you go through this K-writing process, you can help mentor postdocs taking this class next time. And last but not least, this past year we had AFNI Bootcamp, sponsored by Liber. That may happen again as we move forward. Again, be smart about your goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Anything you put in your career development timeline, you need to link it back to your short-term goals for the K99 or your short-term goals for the R00. So now you're going to actually create a timeline with all the activities to set clear milestones for goal achievement. Let's go through a 5-year example based on my cannabis research K99 R00. So for year 1, I split it up into 6-month chunks. You can figure out how you want to do this. You might just have 1 chunk per year. But in mine, for January to June, I'm going to start my fMRI project and do secondary data analysis. And I'm going to enroll in that SWP Mentee program I mentioned before. I'm going to take a psychology of aging class and an ethics class, both at a local university. The second half of year 1, July to December, I'm going to write up that secondary data analysis project. I'm going to submit an SWP conference abstract on what I found from that project. That semester, I'm going to take a developmental psychology class and an advanced stats class at a nearby university. For year 2, the first part of it, I'm going to submit a manuscript based on the fMRI project. And at SWP, I'm going to submit a conference talk for the following year. In terms of classes, I'm going to take an addiction seminar and a diversity seminar at a local university. I'm going to take an online teaching seminar and time management workshop as well. The second part of year 2, I'm going to practice the job talk, create job application materials, and go on the job market for assistant professor positions. I will continue with the addiction seminar, and I will engage in an online cultural competence training. In terms of other workshops, I will complete an advanced EEG data analysis workshop, at least the first part of that 2-part series. So that's years 1 and 2. For year 3, the first part of year 3, I will purchase and test EEG lab equipment, which will be paid for from the R00 part of my budget. To remind you, you have $249K max to spend, and I can definitely purchase an EEG system with that money for 1 year. I will pilot test stress paradigms using the EEG lab equipment and assemble study materials. Then I will develop an EEG project protocol and attend EEG bootcamp. In terms of workshops, I'll engage in part 2 of the advanced EEG data analysis workshop. So that's the first half of year 3. The second half of year 3, I'm going to start an assistant professor position, recruit and train RAs for my lab, and ensure IRB approval for my first project. I will begin an EEG project with a recruitment goal of 8 subjects a month. I will develop an EEG data pre-processing pipeline so that as my RAs collect data, we can pre-process each data set in a timely manner. In terms of year 4, I will continue my EEG study, still recruiting 8 subjects a month. And I will train my RAs to implement this EEG data pre-processing I developed 6 months prior. I'll write the EEG intro and method section of a manuscript. And in the second half of year 4, I will complete the EEG study, still recruiting 8 subjects a month to the end of this cycle. My RAs and I will do EEG data pre-processing during this time, and we will do EEG and other data quality checks, so self-report data, behavioral data, any other clinical data. In year 5, the first half of year 5, I'll do EEG project data analysis, and then I will write EEG results discussion sections and submit the manuscript for publication. I will attend an NIH R01 grant writing workshop and use the EEG results as pilot data for this R01. I will submit the R01 application during this time. The second half of year 5, I will revise and resubmit the EEG manuscript to the journal and present a conference talk on EEG results. I will revise and resubmit my R01 application. So at this stage, I will be in my 3rd year of being an assistant professor, hopefully on the tenure track. But I'm setting myself up for success in training my lab team, leading my lab team, being a clear communicator, and being able to set and attain multiple goals for my research and career. So in this table, you can list other ongoing training activities. So if you're a postdoc at LIBOR, as there's a list of that slide we just went over, all the different activities that you can do up to year 2.5 of this grant. And be as specific as possible with course numbers and workshop titles, because you want to show the reviewers that you've clearly thought this out and are setting realistic goals in terms of what particular classes locally and online you will take. You can also break things up into didactics, course, and other for each year if this works for you. So Dr. Robin Opperly here at LIBOR, for her K23, she set up her 5-year plan like this. So see on the left-hand side, you have didactics, courses, and other. So we covered the timeline. Now we're going to talk about the mentors. Who are they, their experience in mentoring and getting grant funding, and how they will help you. So here's an example of a mentor's paragraph. I have assembled a team of mentors who are uniquely suited to my training goals and who have substantial experience in maintaining productive research careers. Note where I bolded the text, uniquely suited to my training goals and have had substantial experience in being productive. So in my case, my primary mentor will be Professor Eck at X University, and my office is on the same floor. And my primary mentor is an internationally renowned expert in psychiatric neuroimaging with over 250 pubs and 8 years of continuous funding from NIH. So here I'm setting up the knowledge base and the ability to get grants. Next, I'm setting up my primary mentor's strong record of mentorship, serving as a mentor for 5 career development awardees. So if, let's say, Dr. Paulus has mentored 5 people with Ks of various sorts, that's important to put here, that he's been able to get people through this process previously and knows what's required of him. For my co-mentor number 1, let's say it's Dr. Tabert. She's the director of X University Substance Use Disorders Clinic with a strong emphasis on cannabis, and she has greater than 50 publications. Let's say she has an impressive record of mentorship. So she's mentored 6 career development mentees and a bunch of pre and postdoc mentees. Let's say she was previously director of clinical training for a clinical psych Ph.D. program, and she earned a mentoring award. All of this stuff is important to include because it shows that she has success in mentoring students. Evaluation of progress. So you need to explain how this will happen and who's in charge. So this is going to be involving your entire mentorship team, but your primary mentor needs to take responsibility for you meeting your goals. Who's in charge? What are the overall benchmarks of success for your research and training activities? Who's responsible for checking off accomplishments, dates of progress, and helping you problem solve any issues that arise? How often will your mentorship team meet with you all together to review progress? Let's go through an example. So my primary mentor will help ensure that the mentorship team, while located in different institutions, is well integrated and informed and working effectively to support my research and training. I will work with my primary mentor and co-mentors to establish benchmarks of success for my research and training activities, which will include benchmarks for subject enrollment and completion, expected completion dates of coursework and didactics, progress and analysis and publication of the archival fMRI data, progress and analyses and publication of data from the proposed research, so my new EEG study on young adult cannabis users, progress in preparing and submitting an independent investigator R01 award in the R00 phase. My primary mentor will be responsible for checking off accomplishments and dates of progress and ensuring that I'm receiving the help needed to solve problems and accomplish the goals of this application. The entire mentorship team will hold a video conference every 3 months, very specific, observable timeline, to discuss my progress and to provide solutions to difficulties that may arise. So this is the whole example of paragraph 3. It's important to note that the cost for classes, training, and conferences mentioned in your career development and training plan will need to be included in your budget. So we haven't tackled the budget yet, but just make a note somewhere that for your budget, you're going to need to include the cost of all these classes and workshops. Whatever you say that your primary mentor and co-mentors will do to help you in your career development and training plan needs to match what will be written in the plans and statements of mentor and co-mentors. So when you're working on drafts of those sections, you want to refer to your career development and training plan to make sure they match. And then obviously you're going to send those sections to your mentor and co-mentors to fill in more details. So we'll tackle these sections next week, the budget and the plans and statements of mentor and co-mentors. So here's Dr. House, when your frontal lobe is finally working. So this grant process takes a lot of energy, a lot of frontal lobe function, and you got this. So this application process involves a lot of planning, flexibility, diligence, and patience. Your frontal lobes will probably get worn out, so try to reward yourself for daily accomplishments and take breaks to avoid burnout. Submitting a K application is an important success in and of itself. It can be helpful to remind yourself how much you are learning from this process that will help you in your future research and career goals. Your research strategy and candidate information and goals for career development subsections will need to be revised multiple times, so get ready for that. But even just having a first draft is a huge step. Discuss with your primary mentor when to send these documents to co-mentors, and do not be afraid to ask co-mentors to provide feedback within a reasonable time frame. For example, a 2-week time frame. You have a lot to keep track of, and it's reasonable to set time-limited goals for these people. If they can't do it, they can tell you that they need more time. So, action items. Revise your candidate background and career goals and objectives sections based on primary mentor feedback. Write a draft of your career development and training plan and get feedback from your primary mentor. Have a great week.